In a brand new op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, the dual heads of the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, better known as DOGE, say they will roll back what they see as federal overreach by cutting down the workforce and trimming at least $500 billion from the budget. NewsNation's Tom Dempsey is live on Capitol Hill this morning. Tom, we know DOGE has big goals, but this is interesting. It's not like they can just find billions of dollars between the cushions of the couches at the White House. So what exactly are they talking about cutting here?
Well, here's the thing, Markie. Good morning. Elon Musk says he can cut wasteful government spending by up to $2 trillion. That's with a T, trillion. And how he and this new Department of Government Efficiency plan to do that is becoming a little bit clear. And that could come in the form of things like the massive federal cuts to the federal workforce, as well as large-scale federal audits, as well as slashing thousands of different federal regulations. Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will oversee this new government efficiency department. And in a new Wall Street Journal opinion piece, the two cited previous Supreme Court cases and past legislation that could lead to them being able to target wasteful government spending. Among some of the changes proposed, Musk and Ramaswamy say they plan to work with agencies to, quote, identify the minimum number of employees required at an agency for it to perform its constitutionally permissible and statutory mandated functions. The number of federal employees to cut should at least be proportionate to the number of federal regulations that are nullified. They argue fewer regulations mean fewer employees required to enforce them. The two also propose requiring federal employees to come to the office 5 days a week, which they believe may bring a wave of voluntary terminations. They say if employees don't want to show up, American taxpayers shouldn't pay them. They say things like incentives for early retirement and voluntary severance payments could also lead to reductions in the workforce. Among other ways to cut down on overspending, Musk and Ramaswamy bring up $500 billion plus in annual federal expenditures they say are either unauthorized by Congress or used in ways Congress never intended, like $535 million a year for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, to $1.5 billion in grants for international organizations, and around $300 million to progressive groups like Planned Parenthood. But just this week, the National Federation of Federal Employees, which represents over 100,000 federal employees, raised concerns about this new department, writing, quote, if Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy get their way, nearly 500,000 veterans will go jobless, and saying the reductions proposed would be catastrophic for the entire country. But Musk and Ramaswamy say that with President-elect Donald Trump set to take office in January, Republicans in control of Congress, and a conservative majority Supreme Court, it presents a historic opportunity to take on government spending. And here's the thing, they plan to get this all done by July 4th of 2026, Markie.
Yeah, they say that's their deadline. I know government workers are already lawyering up over this. Tom, $2 trillion is a lot to cut, and they clearly won't find it just by cutting jobs and trimming the PBS budget. What else could be on DOGE's chopping block here?
Well, exact details are still unknown about this, and these cuts could be, widespread across the federal government. But one area in particular Musk has raised concerns about is the big budget for the Department of Defense. To zero in on that, he said that could, there's just gigantic spending going on, and that could be one area they focus on. And to dive a little bit deeper into that, for the 7th consecutive time, the Defense Department recently could not fully account for how it spends taxpayer dollars. Under the fiscal year 2024 budget, the department receives $842 billion, or 12% of the budget. According to usspending.gov, federal contractors, it's given out to independent contractors, some of those defense spending, and that could lead to overspending and efficiency issues, Markie.
We'll be asking our political panels about this story throughout the show this morning. Tom, thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.